What's going on, fellow commanders of Caw? My name is Dan, and Chris, what's going on with you?
The,
Why are you so sad?
the streak's been broken.
Oh, that's why I'm so happy, isn't it? Nah, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about that here in a second. But everyone, welcome to Commanding Cause, the Baltimore, Washington area football talk show where my name is Dan,
I'm Chris.
and this week we're going to be asking the most pertinent questions about the 2023 NFL season.
But first, here's the video.
All right, Chris, let's go ahead and get right into the first topic we want to discuss today, which was the preseason game between the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. We kind of made a joke at the very beginning of this because really it's preseason. We don't care too much, but I'm pretty excited about what I saw on both sides, honestly, for both teams. What about you?
I'm not as high on the Commanders as a lot of other people are. It's not as a salty Ravens fan. It's just my personal opinion. The Ravens' second string defense is pretty good. I just think it was not. I want to see them against the first string Ravens defense.
I was texting someone the other day, and we kind of came to the consensus that we think that if Lamar had played the whole game, that the Ravens would have won. But at the same time, Josh Johnson looked pretty good. Did they play, what's that guy's name? Something Brown, Anthony Brown?
Yeah, I don't think he played that well. I don't think he's making the team as a third string quarterback. I think it's going to be Josh Johnson.
I agree. Because Tyler Huntley, has he played at all?
I think he's hurt. He got hurt last week.
Oh, not good. We'll talk about another injury here with Terry McLaurin. But yeah, I agree. I don't think the Commanders are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think with Dan Snyder gone as well as Eric Bieniemy in there, he was getting aggressive with the play calling, I think. And Joey Sly made like, what was it, a 48-yard field goal? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a gimme, not the most difficult one either, but still.
Yeah, 48's pretty good. As a Ravens fan, I've always learned that you have to kind of take a step back from Justin Tucker and not compare every kicker to him. But that's like, there's a couple good kickers in the league that I personally think are pretty good, just like Sly's one of them.
Sam Howell, though, was showing some good signs, I thought, and the defense looked all right. This wasn't like the starters the whole time. Even Jacoby Brissett was playing all right, but
He looked like a good backup.
my biggest problem is getting Sam Howell protection, which has always been the Redskins' problem. Excuse me, Commanders. And also, the receivers were having a hard time catching. I think Curtis Samuel didn't catch a couple. Deontay or something like Brown was one that was having a hard time. I don't know if he makes the team or not. He probably will be a backup. But McLaurin was coming in clutch as always, although he got injured. I think his toe. They had an X-ray on his toe, but he's okay, so he just might miss the next week. I don't know. I think he'll be up to form for the regular season. I did want to say, and I'm sorry I'm talking a whole lot here, but I did want to say, as a Ravens fan, I'm glad that streak's over because nobody cares.
Yeah, my whole thing with that is it shows great. It sounds like a good like rookie tradition that you'd want to keep that streak alive, and like the guys that come in and be like, "Oh, I want to do that streak." It was 24. The closest was like 9 straight wins, I think. So don't think anybody's gonna break it for a while unless somebody really, really wants to try with it. But we saw last year what happened with that. J.K. Dobbins got injured, so I've been kind of against it ever since then. That's just me personally. I'm not much
I
for
agree.
starters playing in the preseason unless they're rookie teams like the Commanders are. I agree with them having to start their starters that way.
I agree. I think that Harbaugh towards the end was like, this doesn't matter. Just let them, keep our guys safe.
Yeah, which I'm glad to see that. I also like it that their first loss is in the preseason because like you would rather them lose in the preseason so they can go ahead and be like, oh, I don't like this taste. I want to win, even though it's just a preseason game. But I know when I played football, like I wanted to win even preseason games
Sure.
because competitive, you like to win. I like to
Well,
see good football during preseason. To be 100% honest, though,
I think that was a good football
it's
game.
probably
I
one of
think
the
both
best
sides.
preseason games in a while.
Yeah. Well, and I just think too that it's better to lose in the preseason, like you said, because you're seeing what works and what doesn't. And I feel like every year Baltimore was just having that streak going, and then they, week one they're doing all right, but then they just kind of get cocky and they, you know,
My mindset as well.
going on out. I don't think the Commanders are going to. It's going to be a tough stretch if I say they're going to win the division, but I think they're going to be better than a lot of people are saying that they are currently. I don't think they're making the Super Bowl. They might make the playoffs. It'd be cool if they won a game, first time since 2005. Other than that, I'm just optimistic. Maybe a couple years from now, we'll see. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. Although it would be a beautiful middle finger to Dan Snyder if they won
Yeah.
the Super Bowl the year after he sold.
I would kind of love that for all the Washington fans around here. That'd be so sick.
And I'm gonna say this again for the millionth time: name's not changing back to Redskins. Just saying.
Hey, you know what my mindset is? If they just go ahead and change the name to something different, it completely wipes everything away that everyone else did. So, not in the like disrespectful way for like players that were really good back in the day and having their records shown and stuff like that. That won't be a problem, but I mean in the sense of like you get to make your own identity, probably with the new stadium coming, I imagine, with new leadership coming in. I have a good feeling, or they'll rebuild FedEx. I think they'll get a new stadium though, towards like Ashburn.
What I think is that they demolish old RFK because it's already been scheduled for demolition. Just rebuild on top of it.
That'd be pretty
I'm pretty
sick.
sure they did that with old Yankee Stadium too, or they moved. I don't know, but either way, I think if they just build on the RFK site, that would work.
Was that closer to us?
It's actually, I think it's like a mile away from the Capitol. It's actually in DC.
Oh, okay. I never went to that stadium, I don't think, ever.
No, I think FedEx opened like when we were youngins.
And I want to say I've been to FedEx before. I know I've stayed outside of FedEx during Washington games, and that was fun.
My wife has gone to FedEx and she said never again. It's just such a pain in the butt to get there.
How do you like the Baltimore Stadium?
I enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, we're both going to be going to Baltimore games this year. You're going to see them play against the Browns. I'm going to see them play against the Bengals. Thank you, Jim. Usually parking, we have our own little parking area that we go to, and I usually kind of the same deal with concerts. I try to leave before the very end because the traffic getting out is just awful. I don't think I've ever stayed for a whole game. Except I think the longest I stayed for was when they played the Patriots with Tom Brady. It was his last season with New England, and they beat him. I mean, I didn't stay to the end.
That's fair. Every game I've ever been to, they've lost, so.
Every game I've been to, except for one, they won. They lost to Green Bay when I was there. By a point, should just say. So, anything else you want to say about the Ravens or Commanders right now, bud?
No. I think I'll mention some stuff about them later.
All right, so moving on from the Commanders and Ravens, did want to ask, have you seen many other preseason games? How's everyone else looking so far? Because I've seen a couple.
I've only really gotten to see highlights. For some reason, they aren't showing a lot of preseason games on TV, which kind of bothers me because I like to watch all the football games. Steelers look good. I'll be honest there. I always check on how the division's doing, and I thought Cleveland looked
I find it funny that Cleveland and Philadelphia, both teams that we are not fans of, they tied. And no overtime in preseason, so that's kind of cool. I saw New Orleans and the Chargers, and both teams, I don't think any of them scored for the first, quarter or two that I didn't really finish the game, but good defense, bad offense. Justin Herbert didn't play.
As well.
Bengals, have heard good things about them as long as Joe Burrow's playing. The Chargers, though, are a team that I've heard kind of around the grapevine people are thinking they're going to be really good this year. I don't know.
I think Justin Herbert's overrated, but that's just me personally. I think he's a good quarterback, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, other teams, I don't know. I haven't seen really much else. But now let's move on, Chris, and let's go ahead and be the fortune tellers for the 2023 NFL season. We're going to ask the most important questions. Right off the bat, I want to go ahead and ask you, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl this year?
Oh boy. So I've been thinking about this because we were talking about it a little bit. I wouldn't actually discuss it though with Dan before we started recording. If I was to make a joke, who I think's gonna go, the Titans versus the Cardinals.
And they both lose, and Ravens get the win.
By default. Don't know how. Deal with the haters. I'll go with what my heart wants me to say. I don't know why it's coming to my head, but it's coming to my head, so I'll say it. Baltimore, of course. My team's going to the Super Bowl. I'm just as bad as a Dallas fan. Probably versus the 49ers.
Interesting. A rematch. Okay.
Yep.
A 47. Nice. Yeah, I'm not. So my joke answer is it's going to be every year just Washington and Baltimore. They both take turns winning, and that the rest of the league can just go away. But or they tie and they both get Lombardis. But anyway, I don't know. Realistically, I think Kansas City has a shot of making it again, but I do want to see how Eric Bieniemy's absence affects them. I think the Jets have a chance of making it there. I think the Ravens do, but I'm going to knock on wood and say let's go Ravens and then potentially the Eagles. Let's get a Bird Bowl.
Bird Bowl.
Or the Seahawks would be cool too.
So you think the Ravens are going to go out of the AFC? Who do you think? Like if you had to lock it in, who do you think it'd be?
See, I'm hesitant to pick the Jets though because I had the Broncos going last year. But okay, I would say let's go ahead and say Ravens, AFC, and NFC. It's going to be a tough one, but based on what we know now, let's go Eagles. Let's get a Bird Bowl.
All right, then I'm definitely going to lock in my Ravens 49ers because I think it's going to be a team that people are kind of doubting going for the NFC.
Yeah, I think a runner-up, the Jets have a chance if they play their cards right. But I also think the Bengals have a chance too again.
I personally think it'll be the Chiefs if it's not the Ravens. That's just me
Then
personally,
again,
though.
yeah. But okay, so I'm saying Baltimore and Philly, and you're saying Baltimore and San Fran. Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's ask this: Who will be the MVP of the season? Regular season MVP, not the Super Bowl.
Not trying to be biased, but I'm hoping with the weapons that Lamar got that Lamar gets it again. So just because I might as well, I'm a homer. Let's go Lamar Jackson. He has so many more weapons now, so much potential. Once again, if it's not Lamar Jackson, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, in my personal opinion.
I wouldn't say Lamar. I think the injuries kind of make me raise an eyebrow. I hope 2019 wasn't just a fluke year. I don't know. Something in my head is telling me Aaron Rodgers again.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I don't think the Jets are necessarily going to go to the Super Bowl or win, but I think he could do really good for them. At least make him to the playoffs.
MVP season out of him would be amazing for the Jets if they get an MVP Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think they've ever had an MVP quarterback.
Namath? No. Namath got a Super Bowl MVP.
Although I do want to point out, I think Sam Howell has the chance to do great things this season, and that's just me being a homer as well. Who's going to have the most passing yards?
Passing yards. I'll let you take this one first.
So, because he has more weapons, my first initial thought was Lamar Jackson. But I don't know, I would like to see him improve with passing, but I think that there's other things that he's going to do, and I think there's better passers out there. Just kind of thinking right now off the top of my head, I don't know. How do you feel about maybe like Josh Allen or yeah, I think realistically we're looking at either Patrick Mahomes or I could see if Joe Burrow's healthy. I could see Joe Burrow. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give the Bengals some love. Kitty goes meow.
All right, I'm going with an opposite team that's not the Ravens this time. I think Lamar will have a lot of passing yards this year. He definitely showed with the weapons. But I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
See, I was thinking Jalen Hurts, but he runs too. As he's kind of like Lamar as well.
Yeah, but I think Jalen Hurts can be pretty close to an MVP caliber year this year.
But I was definitely thinking about him for MVP. But I was thinking maybe for running yards, just based on QBs, we could put him there. But for passing, sure, okay. All right, so most rushing yards. I'm interested in seeing where Jonathan Taylor ends up because the Colts have allowed him to seek a trade. I also think that Derrick Henry, he'll get good rushing yards. I don't know if he's going to be like the most rushing yards. I think Lamar will rush, but he's not going to be the biggest rusher. I don't know. What do you think? I'm having a hard time here.
I didn't even think about Derrick Henry before, so that makes me change my answer. I'm going with Derrick Henry. I think he's going to have a really good year, and I think he's going to show people that he's not fading into non-existence like some people were acting like he was going to this year. I think he's going to have a good season.
And you know what? I think I'm gonna give some love to a rookie here. I'm gonna say that Bijan Robinson gets it, and they're using him as a pass option too. So we'll see what happens there. But going on to receiving yards,
If I want to pick who I actually want to pick, I would definitely be a homer. I think Zay Flowers is going to shatter the record for the Ravens receiving this year. I think he's going to knock the rookie receiving record for the Ravens, which isn't high. It's not high, so don't take it the wrong way. Other fan bases, it's not a high number. I think it's like 755 or something. Let me look that up really quick.
while you're looking up, one thing I did want to say too, Nick Chubb for the Browns, he could have some pretty good running yards, but I still think Bijan Robinson will get it for me, like personally. I think.
All right, I said it was 755. It's 841. So that's the highest the Ravens have gotten from a rookie receiver, and that was Torrey Smith.
I don't know. Stephon Diggs is up there. What about Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams?
Like, if I'm being actual serious, I think it's going to be Jamar Chase.
You know what? That's a really good. Well, I already have Burrow as going for passing, so why don't I go ahead and just say Stephon Diggs for my pick?
Oh, man, now I'm kind of falling back on mine because I want to say Jamar Chase, but Justin Jefferson also.
I mean, that's not a bad choice.
I think he had the most receiving yards last year, if I remember correctly.
All right, so let's just go with which team's going to give up the most interceptions.
Oh, which team's going to have the most turnovers?
Yes.
Oh, who's the worst? Ooh, I like this.
See,
Oh,
I think Tennessee is up there just because Tannehill's showing age as well as, I mean, if they run the ball with Derrick Henry, they're less likely. I think New England also could happen. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just say New England.
It's between two teams right now, and one of those teams, I think the fan base already doesn't like me.
Are you saying the Browns?
No, saying the Broncos or the Cardinals is who popped to mind for me.
I wouldn't say Broncos. I think they're going to do better than last year. Again, I don't think they might make the playoffs. That's a big old maybe. We can go with Arizona. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not going to change your answer for you.
Give up the most. Russell Wilson doesn't really throw too many interceptions. I think last year was an outlier. I'm gonna go with Cardinals.
All right, so we've asked some serious questions here. Who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year? And I'm going to defer to you on this one.
I will go with the Cowboys on this one. I'm gonna say Michael Parsons. I think he should have been a candidate last year, to be honest with you.
I would say Sauce Gardner. Did he was nominated? I know he got Rookie of the Year, right? Defensive Rookie last year.
Yeah, because the Jets had Garrett Wilson, who was Offensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Then they had Sauce Gardner, who was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I think Michael Parsons is really good. He might get it. I think Sauce Gardner has a chance because he got Defensive Rookie last year. I think T.J. Watt, honestly, is a really strong candidate.
T.J. Watt and Nick Bosa are probably both really strong candidates for it as well.
Let's say for me, then T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons. All right.
All right, well, let's do Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
Now, Justin Jefferson is really good. He won it last year, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson, and he's going to get a two-peat and get that win.
I could see Jamar Chase getting it. Yeah, I'll go Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. All right. Both of us got wide receivers getting it, which I could totally see.
Which brings me to, I think that Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Bijan Robinson. I don't know why. It could be Jackson Smith and Jigba. But right now, from what I'm seeing, I think it's going to be Bijan.
I think it's going to be Zay Flowers.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
I think he's going to get Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think Bijan is my non-biased choice. I would totally say Bijan Robinson. But Zay Flowers has impressed me, man. He's looked like the best receiver I've seen the Ravens have in a while.
Well, there we go. What about Defensive Rookie of the Year?
All right, so I personally think it's actually going to be Emmanuel Forbes. I thought he played his heart out against the Ravens. To be 100% honest with you, he played really well. That's not me being biased either. I am not a Commanders fan by any means. I just feel bad for a lot of them because, I grew up around a lot of Commanders fans. But he played really good. Zay Flowers did kind of dice him up a little bit. I personally think Zay looks a lot better than people aren't really talking about it, in my personal opinion, which is good. Keep it on the down low, just like that stupid streak. Don't talk about the Ravens. Forget we exist. Just let them coast into the playoffs. That'd be sick.
Like that meme. Hold up, let them cook.
Yep.
So I'm actually going to go NFC East as well. It pains me to say it, but I think that Jalen Carter, if he plays as well as advertised, I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, no, I actually do agree with that. That's a really good pick as well.
But there you go. Those are just some fun little predictions that we have. The last week of the preseason's coming up here, and then we're going to kick things into high gear when the season starts. I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this video up, and then we're going to get our predictions going, and that's going to be flipping awesome. I personally cannot wait for the season to start, for us to start getting our predictions out there, and I just cannot wait to bomb every pick and just do terrible.
Well, each week we'll do predictions, we'll do a review, we'll do our top 10 teams of the week, and yeah, we're here for it, and we'd love to have you join us. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe video, share this video with your friends, and we will see you when the season starts.
See you guys.